Hey gang, we're gonna do some dyeing from the Advent calendar. So in week 1, on day 7, we had snowballs, which is this tweed wool, kid mohair, and baby alpaca, which is very pretty, and I quite enjoyed it, but we're gonna dye it. I mean, why not, right? I love colors. So this one, of course, is all animal fibers, so all of it will take the dye. In the coming weeks, we're going to have different blends that are going to take the acid dyes differently, and I think that's going to be a lot of fun too. So let me reset the camera and we'll get started on dyeing this one. All right, here we have our dry fiber, a small bowl, and we are going to do some dyeing. Now I'm going to work with dry fiber because it takes the dye differently than wet fiber does. So we're going to use a little bit of sky blue. If I can get into the jar. There we go. Just going to use just a little splash. Okay, maybe that's a lot of splash, but whatever. And we need some citric acid. We don't need that much. We're just going to use a little splash of citric acid. And then we're just going to add just a splash of hot water. I'm using a splash of everything. And yes, that is a technical measurement. Just going to stir it up. You just want to dissolve that citric acid. All right. Now, we're going to take our dry fiber and we're just going to plop that into the bowl and let it soak up that blue on the bottom. Just press it down a little bit. All right, now while that's doing that, we're going to mix our next one. So, in our little measuring cup, I'm going to put some citric acid. I'm actually, for the amount of dyes I'm using, I am using a lot of citric acid because I want it to strike really fast. So then I'm going to add some purple. That's probably enough. And then some hot water from the kettle. I'm going to use a little bit more this time. I'm going to mix that up. Make sure all that citric acid is dissolved. And then we're going to take our little bin of fiber and we're going to pour this over the top. I'm going to just push that down. All right, so I think it's absorbed all the liquid. You can see the purple sitting on the, or the blue sitting on the bottom. All right, we're just going to top that off with just some plain hot water. Push that down. All right, a little bit more. All right, now I'm going to leave that sit. Actually, yeah, there is still a bit of dye in there. So I'm just going to move it around a little bit just to release that dye out into the fiber a little better. Because I'm using so much fiber and so little water, it does not have room to migrate. So I'm just kind of moving that around a bit. All right, now I'm going to let that sit for 15 minutes or so and we'll check it again. So we'll be back. All right, I think this has been sitting for long enough. Let's check and see, our water is clear. There's a little hint of color in there, but not enough for me to worry about. So we are going to pull this out. And we're going to have a look at what we got for color. Shake, shake, shake. Okay, that's not too bad. It's cooled enough I can at least handle it. All right. So, because I was doing it in a densely packed bundle, I'm not expecting it to be all fully saturated, but actually it's not bad. There's a couple of white spots, but when we start spinning this fiber, the blues and the purples are gonna, and the whites are all gonna blend and give this beautiful tonal look. But this is what we got so far. The colors struck very well. I'm very pleased with that. So I'm going to rinse this and put this out to dry, and we will come back and have a look at it when it's completely dry. See you then. The fiber is all dry, so this is day 7. Tweed, wool, kid mohair, and baby alpaca. And ignore the hiasput, that's my phone. So, are you ready to see it? Here it is in the braid. And there's the fluffed up tail. This is so soft. It's beautiful. So we're getting, I don't know if it'll show up on camera, but we're getting the shine from the alpaca. And the wool tweedy bits didn't get much color at all. So they're like these white pops in the fiber, which looks absolutely phenomenal. I am very, very happy with how this turned out, and I think it's going to spin up to this beautiful pastel blue and purple palette because of the whites in there, and then the little tweedy bits are going to be little pops of pure white. And it is so pretty. I am so excited. Even though all these fibers take acid dyes, you can see that using the small container method that it doesn't penetrate everything. And also having the fiber dry, because those wool bits, that's Bobble messing around in the background. Those wool bits went in dry, so they weren't fully saturated in the time that it was in the dye bath. So that's part of why they stayed white. So by playing with your dyeing techniques, you could change how the dye takes up, or the uptake of the dye, or however you want to say it. But it leads to really pretty effects. So that's it for the week 1 of the Wow Advent Calendar, which I'm really having fun with. I'll be doing week 2 next week, so make sure you're subscribed so that you don't miss it. Or, you know, if you didn't like it at all, just skip on by and go to the next video. I'm okay either way. That's your choice. But thank you for joining me for this video, and I shall see you in the next one. Dr. Chaos, out.